the track.
Peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slain Hope, and I got another jail story. Jail/prison, I guess. And this one is about the toughest group of men in the jail system, right? And some people are not going to agree, but it is what it is. From people that I met, right? So, but before I get into the video, make sure you mess with my content, you like, you share, you subscribe. And I want to also thank the people who already been doing that, because, you know, it don't hurt to support. Y'all don't have to do it. Y'all don't have to comment. Y'all don't have to subscribe and do the little things y'all do. So I appreciate y'all. Now, so boom, let's get into the video, right? Now, the toughest group of men that I met in prison are the elderly, right? And I know when you hear elderly, you might think somebody old, washed up, with a walker, but nah, I'm talking about like the older brothers. They probably like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They usually got a lot of time, and 9 times out of 10 they usually Muslim, right? Now I know some of y'all gonna think I'm being biased because I'm Muslim, but yo, just bear with me, because I'm gonna break certain things down to you that you might not really understand. Right now, the reason that I say this is because of this, right? In Islam, there is a thing. See, a lot of times there's this misconception, right? That like a lot of people join the fold because they were afraid, or because, you know, they just couldn't fend for themselves, or etc., etc. We hear it all the time. But I'm telling you right now, like a lot of them older brothers, and mind you, this when I went in, it was like 2010. So some of them brothers already had like a lot of time. A lot of them older brothers was gangster on some real shit. They was gangster. They had an asshole full of time, and Islam gave them hope, right? And if you look at the whole Islamic history, you have always had gangsters, right? Like people who was G'd up, who was about that life. So you had the same thing in the prison system. Dudes who was about that life, but they also was trying to get home, right? Some of them didn't have no hope, right? The only hope that some of these brothers had was that they died as martyrs, right? Now in Islam, there's a thing. In this period, back in the days, they used to teach in the prison system about jihad. Jihad is struggling. Jihad means to struggle, right? To struggle with your life in the cause of God, right? In the cause of Allah. Some people like to loosely translate it as fighting, but it's not fighting. It just means to struggle, right? So some of these brothers, right? When they used to teach this in the prison, so some of these brothers, the only hope that they had of forgiveness, right, if they believed in God, was if they got killed fighting or struggling physically in the cause of God, right? So this is some of the hope, and this is like the shit that I learned from brothers, right? That brothers taught me, and it was like. So some of these dudes, the only hope that they had, because in Islam you have this thing, if you like fight, right, and you get victory, meaning if you win, you kill, you do certain things, you get a blessing for doing that. Just for fighting, you get a blessing. But if you die in the cause of the struggle or in the fight, you're promised paradise. As long as it's fi sabilillah, in the way of God, right? Because, see, a lot of people get the shit misconstrued. Like, Islam is a religion predominantly of peace, right? But a lot of times, in order to achieve peace, you need war, right? Because people are going to try you. People are going to test you. That's why I made the video saying that respect comes with admiration of fear. Like, nobody would just respect the Muslims in prison if these gangsters was not putting in work and maxes. If they wasn't stabbing people or doing whatever they had to do and protecting the brotherhood, if they wasn't moving how they was moving, nobody will be respecting Islam in the prison system. So this is where when you hear the Muslims are strong or the Muslims are respected, it's not even because the Muslims got great numbers. It's because the mindset, right? You had a band of brothers, and not everybody is tough. in the Islamic folk. But all it really takes is 10 brothers to really believe that if they kill or are killed fighting in the state, that they will be rewarded by God and go to paradise. And you have a whole nother ballgame. So when I was in the 4 building in adolescence, a lot of these brothers used to come down. You know, some of them was getting rearrested for new cases, because once you get upstate and they take your DNA, now they might, because sometimes let's say you commit a crime and you leave your DNA at the scene, but they don't have your DNA in the system. They don't know who really did this. So sometimes some brothers go upstate. Some people go upstate. Once they take your DNA upstate, they realize like, oh, we have an unsolved murder. Oh, we have an unsolved robbery. Oh, we got an unsolved rape. We got an unsolved this. So sometimes when once your DNA goes in the system, they be rearresting people. So some of these brothers was coming down for rearrest. Some of them was coming down for appeals. So when I was on Rikers Island in the 4 building, you get to see a lot of these brothers, right? And, you know, I learned early on, like, it was older brothers that was teaching me how to move. Like, yo, don't sit with your back to the door. Like, don't do certain things. Like, watch this. Like, they was teaching me how to move. When I got upstate, it was some older brothers that I was with. Some of these dudes already, you know, they was on their 2nd bid or 3rd bid or whatever. And so when I started hanging out with the elderly, like, and some of these dudes was 50 in top shape. Like, you wouldn't even know they was 50 because they look young. Sometimes they say prison preserve you. They look young, but it's the mentality. Like, some of these dudes was really not afraid to die. Like, and I know I said that about, you know, us gangbanging in the streets, but it's a whole different ball game. And another brother, he was teaching me one time. He was like, look, he said, yo, the Bloods got the numbers. He said, I'm not even gonna hold you. He said, they got the numbers. He said, but they don't got the shooters. He said they don't got the shooters and they're not allowed to organize like the Muslims. See, because when you are in the prison system, when you go to the yard, you can't even be in a group bigger than 4 or 6 people. Like, the guards will break you up. So even sometimes to even get information to certain people, it could be a little hard. But the Muslims, they could go to class, they could go to services, and they could congregate, they could talk about certain things. So they was able to organize in the prison a little better. So the brother was basically telling me, he was like, yo, bro, like, he said they don't got a lot of shooters. He said this is why a lot of times they be forcing their members to shoot. And I'm guessing he mentioned the Bloods because the Bloods, I guess, was like the biggest threat towards the Muslims or the rivals or whatever. Or maybe they also had issues, you know, prior to, you know, selective individuals. Sometimes certain people join the fold, and the Muslims will be like, yo, you gotta leave them alone now. And in some cases, situations transpire, right? So this is just some of the things that the brothers used to tell me, right? They was like, yo, they don't got no shooters like that, which is why a lot of times they tell some of their shooters, you better shoot him or we gonna shoot you. You better do this or we gonna park you. So not saying that they don't got no dudes that are kamikaze and willing to go out. Of course, every clique got those. But what he was basically saying, a lot of them don't have that mentality. A lot of them dudes was not so willingly and so ready to just go out there and jump on Front Street, although they have some. And what he was saying is, like, when you have a group of men who are really studying a religious book, and the book is telling them that you're supposed to fight because the Quran urges the believers to fight. So a lot of these older brothers, they already had that mentality. That shit was ingrained in them. So some of them used to just be waiting for the moment to unleash. Like I kid you not. Like, when I went upstate, I used to hit the bag with this one brother. He was another older brother. And it didn't matter if it was police. It didn't matter if it was Bloods. It didn't matter if it was whatever faction. Like, when it was time to go, it was time to go. And like I said, you cannot, it's hard to really defeat a group of people who have this mindset that if I die, I'm gonna go to paradise. And if I kill you, I'm gonna be rewarded for it. You know, so a lot of these dudes, they wasn't playing this razor tag. Like, a lot of these younger dudes in these younger gangs, they be playing a lot of the razor tag shit. Like, I'm gonna slice you in the face, and, you know, somebody gonna snuff you, and they run off, and they play these that's why it's called razor tag, right? But these brothers that I'm talking about, bro, you will never catch them with no can top. Like, these dudes had ice picks or better. Like, they had shits like swords, bro. Like, and they was not playing with you. And some of them, they walk around with a cane acting like they was disabled and shit. Like, yo, I was in the house with this one brother, and this was on Rikers Island. And he used to walk around with a cane, but this dude was strong. This dude was like, but he played like that. He was an older dude. He played like he was old, but he was always ready for the situation. And he didn't like the Bloods, because one of the Bloods cut his sister in the street behind the Halloween initiation shit or whatever. So he used to, especially when it came to situations with them, he was just always waiting for something to transpire. So this was a brother that was in the house with me when I had a situation with the pantry. And then when I went upstate, it's the same thing. I kept meeting brothers. I met a brother that was 60. He was locked up for 34 years. 34 years. And this dude was strong. I don't think he was jerking off. I don't think he was doing none of that. He was strong. Like this dude was like, literally, he never went to the yard to work out. This dude never went to the yard to work out. We used to go to the yard, work out, lift weights, do all that crazy shit. And then one time we was play fighting with this dude. And yo, I ain't gonna hold you, like some was like, he was fake twisting us up. Like some was like, yo, there's only two things you're gonna get with them old ass strong motherfuckers, right? They either gonna be booty bandits, or they just gonna be some chill gangsters. Like, you know, they trying to chill, they don't want no problems, they be trying to avoid shit. But yo, I'm telling you, they'll make a mess out of something. And again, this is not to say that there wasn't tougher people in other groups and other cliques, because people are gonna come with their comments and say whatever they're going to say. But I'm just telling you, of course, Islam has, the strength of Muslims, I believe, has diminished in the prison system. It looks a little different now. A lot of them older dudes probably went home, or I don't know, but or it might depend on what prison that you land in today. But I'm just saying that, like, the toughest brothers that I met, they were like the elderly that used to try to avoid shit. But them motherfuckers had shit, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like they was waiting for situations, and they was not gonna play with you. That's why they just try to avoid shit, because when they get into shit, it get messy. The other brother I used to hang out with, he was the first one who taught me how to make a shank. I ain't gonna hold you. Like he just was always with the shits. Like, he used to go down, punch the bag all crazy. Dudes were scared of him, and I didn't really want to do that, because when people watch you do certain things like that, they plot on you differently. But it was a lot of brothers, man. It was a lot, and I started hanging out, and this is the people that I used to hang out with. I used to hang out with the elderly, because they taught me the game. They taught me how to move. They taught me how to, like, do certain things, how to make weapons. You know what I'm saying? They was really like molding me. Like, they wasn't troublemakers, but they just prepared me for, like, yo, bro, when it's time to go, like this is what it is. Like, and I was already learning from the religion, so like I was there, you know. And what I did, I in return taught the younger brothers. So yeah, man, these I don't care what nobody say. You can't. It's hard to defeat the people who they stare at the barrel of a gun and they see paradise, and they see it as a reward. And like I said, a lot of other gangs, they still be forcing, like, people to shoot, or people to clap for them, or people to go put in work. So a lot of times, dudes that be putting in work for some of these gangs, it's because of fear that they might get jumped. There's none of that in Islam. You don't get jumped for not putting in work. Like, you're not getting forced. The Quran tells you to protect your brother. The Quran tells you to do these things. The Quran tells you will achieve paradise if you die as a martyr. So a lot of the things that gave these people courage, and some of them was already gangsters. Some of them was already in the streets putting in work, you know. But then even some of the people who were not street got courage, right? Because the book told them that you will be rewarded. So yeah, that's the story, man. Like, that's just my experience. I seen it by myself. Like, I just seen how it was. I seen the respect level. I seen, like, certain things, right? And I just knew it was there. Like, certain people just these dudes was just like, yo, they was about that mess. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what it is. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.